Hi, I'm Gonçalo, and this is Mishras. Today I will present you Atraxa Superfriends voice Commander Deck Tech. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe the channel. So join me in this venture and learn how to play Atraxa and his Super Friends. Let's go! So, Atraxa Superfriends voice is the legendary creature Angel Horror. It has Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch and Lifelink, and it means at the beginning of your end step, proliferate. All in that in a 4/4 body. Atraxa is a gameplay that you do as if you were playing a computer game on a hard mode. It's difficult, it's painful, it's hard and damage burn setup. But when it runs, well. Playing Atraxa means you're always everyone's target. This means either you're opening spells or you're opening creatures. You're always there to get some. So you need a lot of protection. And when I mean a lot, I mean a lot. In Atraxa Superfriends you learn a bunch of interaction with the table. Lots of abilities to run in a single turn. Your main achievement is to get your Super Friends to ultimate. And once they'll do, game is almost certainly done. So, how to do that? In this version of Atraxa, we're running 35 lands, 9 creatures, 9 or 8 mana rocks, 21 planeswalkers, 4 tutors, 4 counters, 10 board wipes, 4 cards for protection, and 4 other cards. In Atraxa Superfriends, we're playing 35 lands. Windheld, Bloodstained Mire, Verdant Catacombs, Arid Mesa, Misty Rainforest, Polluted Delta, Scouting Tarn, Marsh Flats, and Flooded Strand, and we're also playing Prismatic Vista. After the fetches, we're going to the Shocklands. Overground Town, Temple Garden, Godless Shrine, Watery Grave, Breeding Pool, and Hallowed Fountain. And then some dual lands like Tropical Island, Tundra, Underground Sea, Bayou, and Savannah. After these lands, we're going to the multicolor lands. City of Rest, Command Tower, Interplanar Beacon, Gemstone Mine, and then fixing lands like Huborg and Yavimaya. We're also playing some ramp like Ancient Tomb and Urza Saga, and some extra lands like Field of the Dead and Maze of It. For finally playing Plains, Island, Forest and Swamp, one of each, to complete the 35 lands we need. After the lands, we're playing some mana rocks too. We're playing Mox Amber, Chrome Mox, Sol Ring, Mox Diamond, Mana Crypt, Astral Cornucopia, Arcane Signet and Mana Vault. We're also playing 9 creatures in this deck. Esper Sentinel to give us some extra draw, Doity Void, which allow us to prevent from players which use the graveyard. Deep Clue will help us get a ultimate to our Planeswalkers. Noble and Birds will help us as just like a mana rock. Shallai will protect us from everything. As Peacekeeper, Spellskite is also a protection, and Dark Orphaned, extra card. From other cards we're going to start with our tutors. We're playing 4 tutors: Mystical Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, Vampiric and Demonic Tutor. This will help us the Planeswalker we need or the card we need during the game. We're also playing 4 counters. These counters will avoid some things that will damage us. We're playing Force of Will, the basic counterspell, the improved counterspell called Mana Drain, and the Pack of Negation. To protect our Planeswalkers or protect ourselves, we're also playing Swords, Assassin's Trophy, Big Stone, Humility, Toxic Deluge, Rat, Damnation, Supreme Verdict, the new card, the Mihuk, and Never Nettles Disc. After these cards, we also need extra protection, like the First Protection, Veil Summer, Angel's Grace, and Cyclonic. The 4 other cards are Ristic Study, the Veil, Ode of Nissa, and of course, Delving Season. Now, to complete the setup, as the game say, we need the Super Friends. As our first Super Friend, we're going to have the Wanderer. The Wanderer prevents all non-combat damage that will be dealt to you and other permanents you control. For -2, exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Jace. Jace doesn't need any kind of presentation. Teferi, Master of Time. Teferi will give us a lot of draw during the game. Jace and Revealer of Secrets. This will always give us draws, and if we get the emblem, it's end of the game. Narset. Narset prevents other players from drawing a lot of cards, and will give you some extra cards if you need it. Obnixilis. Obnixilis also prevents us from other players to draw a lot of cards, and for -2 it destroys target creature. Its controllers draws 2 cards and gets 2 damage. With Obnixilis on table, every time the opponent draws, he gets 1 damage. Liliana. Liliana doesn't need any kind of presentation also, just like this. Liliana Dreadhorde General. Liliana Dreadhorde General will give us all players to sacrifice 2 creatures with -4. With +1 created 2/2 Black Zombie. With -9, each player chooses a permanent they control for each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. Not each player, but each opponent, which makes a lot of difference. Karn. Well, Karn, for +4, target player exiles a card from his or her hand. -3, exile target permanent. -14, restart the game. Hugin. Hugin makes cover spells cost 2 less to cast. With +1, exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 cover spirit creature, then, when that creature leaves the battlefield, you put the exiled card in your hand. With -3, destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. Hugin, Spirit Dragon, doesn't need any kind of presentation also. Tamio. Tamio, for +1, choose up to 2 target creatures. Until your next turn, whenever either of those creatures deal combat damage to you, draw a card. -2, tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. They don't untap during the next controller's next untap step. For -7, Tamio becomes an Omniscience. Oko. Oko is here to steal everything from your opponents that causes you some kind of... For +2, create a food token. For +1, target edhrec or creatures loses all abilities and becomes an elk. Can you see your Planeswalkers becoming an elk? 5. Exchange control of target artifact or creature you control and target creature and opponent controls with power 3 or less. Let's gonna steal some of those. Narset. Narset doesn't also need any kind of presentation. Another Tamio, Collector of Tales. Spells and abilities your opponent control can cause you to discard and sacrifice permanents. With -3, return target card from your graveyard to your hands. Ashiok, it's a graveyard hate. Spells and abilities your opponent control can cause their controller to search their libraries. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard, then exile each opponent's graveyard. Teferi Time Reveler. Each opponent can cast spells only anytime they could cast a sorcery. +1, until your next turn, you may cast sorceries as stock as they let flash. -3, return up to 1 target artifact, creature, or enchantment to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Teferi will slow the sunset. This Teferi will give us also a lot of draws, and if you get the emblem, well. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Draw a card at the beginning of your next end step and tap 2 lands. If you get the emblem, whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent and an opponent controls. For -3, put target non-land permanent into its owner's library, 3rd from top. Vraska the Unseen. Vraska Ultimate creates 3 1/1 black assassin creature tokens with, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. For -3, Vraska also destroys target non-land permanents. Vraska Golgari Queen, just like the other one. 9, you get an emblem with, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. With also -3, destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. So that's it, all the 21 Planeswalkers and the Atraxa Superfriends in. Let's play!